Hi everyone, Tori here. Welcome to day one in my December daily 2018 and 2019. I'm working on them both this year because I really want to get last year's done as well as this year's. So you're going to see two different options for day one. I hope it inspires you. I hope you enjoy it. So I thought I would start off by trimming down my photos, and I'm going to start by working on my 2018 December daily. So these are all photos and the ideas for the journaling I took and wrote down last year. Oh, I decided to work on 2019 instead. Whoops. So, yesterday, if you watch my Reason Why page, you will have known that I said that I wanted to add a photo. So, I'm going to just start by adding this photo of myself that I had taken this year so that I could put it at the beginning of my Reason Why pages. So I just did it in black and white because I just thought it would look nice on the page. But then I noticed that the black and white tones of the striped paper that I was putting it on and the black and white of the photos just didn't match. One was like creamier, if that makes sense. And sometimes that doesn't bother me, but for some reason this was really bothering me. So I felt like I needed to put something behind the photo just to kind of take away from the differences in color so much. So I ended up going to a Project Life card for this. So that's what I adhered it down to. And then I'm just going to trim it down to make it a little closer because I felt like 3x4 was a little too big. And then I'm just going to adhere it down to the page. And I actually really like the way that it works as you're flipping through the pages of the Reason Why, because my Reason Why goes across a couple of the pages in this junk journal. And then I just topped it off with some Snow and Cocoa stickers from the sticker sheet. So for day one, I have one photo. I have this photo of this dog, Yukon, and I. And if you've been following me on Instagram, I shared this over there, but I am going to be dog sitting for a family here at RVA. That's the school that I work at in Kenya. While they go home to the States. And I just snapped a photo of him and I together. And then I stuck that down on one of the pages. And then I decided that this white page just needed a little something extra. So I just grabbed a couple of washi tapes from my stash. So one of the decisions that I've made this year is that in my 2019 album, I'm going to use my mega date stamp, and in my 2018 album, I'm just going to use my regular date stamp. So I'm not sure if you guys are interested in me reading the journaling, so I'm going to do it, but can you let me know in the comments, do you like hearing the journaling? Would you prefer I just kind of gave you the synopsis of the journaling? Like, what do you guys think? So here's the journaling. It's crazy to think December is here and I'm in Kenya. It definitely doesn't feel like Christmas yet, but maybe it takes time for a new place to feel like home and feel festive. I'm so thankful that this Christmas I don't have to spend it completely alone. I have Yukon. Yep, I'm dog sitting for the Psalms. I have an 8.5-year-old Yukon to hang out with and walk 4 times a day. He's still whining a lot because he misses his family, and I totally get that. I miss my family too. At least we can miss our families together. I'm holding out hope that this Christmas will have some magic. Maybe Yukon and I can find it together. He loves attention and cuddles and pets behind his soft furry ears. The only struggle is that he likes to bark at each and every person who walks by the house or front door. He especially likes it whenever someone knocks at the door. Poor Mary, he scares the living daylights out of her every time she comes to the house. I hate that he scares people. I want people to want to come here. At least he's a good guard dog for the house. So that's basically the journaling. I did decide to add a little bit of embellishments. I grabbed some tiny word stickers from this old Studio Calico dog set that said Beware Dog, and I put that on the house. And then I added companion on the photo of him and I. And then I decided to just finish that off with a little puffy sticker. So I just went to my stash to see what I could find, and I found this puffy sticker from last year's December Daily Kid Kit. It's like blue, and I just felt like it looked really cute there. So this is what a look of day one looks like. It's simple, but I like how it came together. So now I'm gonna start working on day one in my second December daily. So this is the 2018 one, and similar to the 2019 one, I wanted to start by adding a photo. So this is just some random photo that I took last year of me it was like this silver ornament, and you could kind of see a reflection in it. So I took that photo. Now, I really wanted to back it, but I didn't have any Christmas paper that I specifically felt like worked. So I just like looked through the album or the junk journal and like cut this page out. I don't know if that like ruins the integrity of it, but I'll figure it out when I get there. It's kind of what I was thinking. So I cut out a square to put my photo on. And then just trimmed it so there was like a little red line around the photo, and I like the way that it works next to the reason why page that I created yesterday. So if you want to check out the reason why pages, just head over to my channel. I have a playlist for these videos, but it's also just like the last video, so you can just go check that out. And I think it just looks cute next to that die cut and then that journaling that I had done the day before. And I kind of like the idea of adding a photo of myself to my reason why. I don't think I've done that in previous years, like in my 2015, 16, or 17 album. I don't think I did that, but I'll have to do it moving forward because I like the way that it works. So after that, I decided to work on day one, and I actually have a lot of photos from last year on December 1st. So last year, December 1st, my friend and I, Linda is her name, and I went and did a craft fair. So I did like 3 craft fairs last Christmas, and I really enjoy them. And Linda, my buddy, goes with me because you end up sitting there all day, and if it's not that busy, it's like nice to have somebody with you. Also, if you need to like use the restroom or something, there's somebody to watch your stuff. So I was selling handmade tags and the Coptic journals and stuff that I make. And so I kind of had a bunch of photos of Lynn and I and Linda, and then some photos of my table. So I'm going to stick those down. So the first thing is on that big page, I wanted to kind of cover it up a little bit. It was a snow and cocoa, I think, or some kind of crepe paper. But it had like calendars, and it had January, February, and March on it. No, December, January, February, and March on it, which I thought was kind of weird because I wanted it to just say December. So I just used a white piece of paper on that page to kind of cover up the pattern, and that's where I'll stick 2 photos, the photo of Linda and I, and then a photo that I had taken of the table. On my table where I sold my handmade things, I had this little board that said, you can't buy love, but you can buy handmade, and that's kind of the same thing, made with love. So I took a photo of that, and then I'm going to just adhere those 2 photos onto that white piece of paper. So let me read the journaling while I do that. Lynn and I did 2 craft fairs together this year, the one at Springvale in November and one at Eastridge in December 1st. She is such a supportive and kind friend. We spent the day showing off my gift tags and handmade Coptic journals. We spent the day laughing and chatting about the holidays, work, and the craft fair. It was the perfect way to make some extra spending money for all the things I need to get for Africa. I even had a globe and some prayer letters to hand out to people. Lynn is so precious. One lady mistaked her for my mom and said, "Oh, you're going to miss her, aren't you?" Lynn burst into tears. "Oh, what a good friend. For sure next year when I'm in Kenya, I'm really going to miss her. She's the best." Well, I didn't necessarily sell a ton of things at the craft fair. It was pretty small. I had such a good time with Lynn. So that's kind of the journaling. So on the one Christmas tree packaging there, I decided to do a flip up. So I just used this XOXO 3x4 card and this Oh by Golly Have a Holly Jolly Christmas card. Christmas 3x4 card. And those 2 came from the Christmas collection that I designed with Wild Whisper last year, the year before, I can't remember. I just have a lot of them around. I love them. So actually, it's really fun because the O and the Christmas on that card is my handwriting, which I think is kind of fun. So I have those 2 cards, and they're going to flip up to this really cute photo of Linda underneath. There was this lady at the craft fair who had this like epic flower background behind her booth, and we just asked her at the end of the day if we could take some photos, and she was so nice and let us. So that's the photo of Lynn and I. You can kind of see the flowers in the back, and then this photo of her making the funny face in front of the floral background you can see too. And I just really love the way that turned out. I felt like I wanted some kind of border around that photo of her, so I just grabbed a like teal, turquoise, blue Project Life card and put her on there. And then I wanted to layer 2 more photos of the table, one which had like some of the books that I had made, and one where I was like doing some Copic coloring while I was sitting at the booth. So I took those 2 photos, I backed them on some white cardstock, and I'm just going to layer those both up onto that acetate with the gold circles on it. I really wanted the next page to be day 2, so I decided to just put those photos right onto the acetate, and in the end I kind of like the way it works out. I did have to layer them a lot, so it kind of cuts off part of the bottom photo, but there wasn't anything in that bottom photo that I felt like you needed to see other than kind of the Copic coloring, so it was fine. And now I'm just going to finish it off by adding some embellishments. So I decided to add this puffy sticker number 1. And then I wanted to do some stamping. So I had this Leading Lady, which is by Brandy Kincaid. I can't remember what the company she does that with, but if I can remember, I'll tell you later. There is a stamp that said crafty things are my bling. And then there was like a little stamp that had a hot glue gun. So I ended up stamping those underneath the number 1. Originally I stamped them on the paper, but it didn't stamp perfectly. So I ended up just stamping it on a white piece of paper, cutting it out and covering it. And like honestly, you can't even tell, it looks fine. And then I stamped the date with my roller date stamp. And then I'm just going to add all of my journaling kind of around the photos, making it all fit. On the doily, I even added some journaling on the front and the back, but I had a little extra space, so I wanted to put something there. And I found this really cute little girl by crepe paper, and I'm just going to end up sticking her there. I did look at other embellishments, but she just was kind of waving, and I thought it was so cute and went with the color scheme. And then I'm going to just grab some of these red phrase stickers, the best, this makes me happy, and loving every moment. And that's it for today's page. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Come back soon for day 2. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And I would love to know, do you like listening to me read the journaling, or would you prefer a synopsis? So let me know in the comments. Talk to you guys later. Bye.